Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The title of my message is, what does your account look like? And it maybe the foundational text is from Genesis 1:28. One second. I'm reading from the King James Version, and it says, "And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." This right here, we hear God giving us a mandate, but He is commanding us. He's commanding us to subdue the earth and to take dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, and over every living thing. When we break down the word subdue, the Greek word is called kavesh, Kavash, and it means place your foot on the neck of your conquered enemy and bring them under complete control and subservient position. Meaning the thing that is supposed to control you actually turn it around to control it. And this is the beginning of the cultural mandate, where God is originally calling us to stewardship. Stewardship is defined as how you're managing something on someone's behalf. And in Genesis is where we first find that first example with Adam, where God gives Adam stewardship over the garden. Where He places him in there and He tells him to maintain the garden. Not that God Himself could not do it Himself. But we find this first example from Adam and God in the garden showing this whole thing of stewardship. This is before he eats from the tree. Then if we go to Jeremiah 29:5-7, this is like a parallel verse of the same thing being repeated.
Well, I do get food in the morning.
It says, "Build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished." God's still giving the same cultural mandate of multiplying. So you see how He starts off with Adam in the beginning, and then in Jeremiah He repeats the same mandate for us to multiply. And so this is in reference to stewardship. He's telling us, like, basically take dominion over the earth and multiply, go out. Now if we're going to 2 Samuel 23:8-17, we'll see the example of what stewardship looks like in action from David. David is the example that's given here. These are the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adonai, the Isnite. He lifted up his spear against 800 whom he slew at one time. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David. When they defied the Philistines that were there, gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away, he arose and smote the Philistines until his hands was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. And after him was Shema, the son of Agi, the Harite, and the Philistines were gathered together in sore troop. There was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chiefs went down, and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam. And the troops of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rahem. And David was then in a hole, and the garrison of the Philistines was there in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it, and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives?" Therefore he would not drink. These things did these 3 mighty men. And here we have this example. When somebody reads it, they're like, "Oh wow, David made them go and get water from the river of Bethlehem for him to drink, and then he pours it out." But when we're talking about stewardship and action, it's like we should not selfishly live our lives for ourselves. And so thinking about our lives, that God is our creator and that our life is not our own. And so it's not just for us that we are living. And so stewardship and action actually looks like this, where we are living in a selfless manner, always thinking of the next. And for David, that was him showing to his men what stewardship looked like for him, not to drink from it, but to give it as a sacrifice, that he needed water at that time. But as a sacrifice to the Lord, that he wouldn't drink from the water, yet his men who also needed water could not get water too. And my last verse is Matthew 23, verse 14 to 30. Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30. "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he had received the 5 talents, went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so that he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. But unto everyone that hath shall be given, and shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30 talks about accountability. It talks about how we stewarding our time, our money, our abilities, our information, wisdom, relationships, and authority. Our first call onto the earth is to be stewards. We are called to be stewards. God has called us to manage His creation on His behalf, not our own. Everything on this earth belongs to the Lord, and He has called us to come and take management over it on His behalf. Our jobs, when we're at our workplace, He's asking us to work as though we are working for Him, because that is the call, that is the mandate. I ask, if you were called today, what account would you give of how you have administered everything you have been given? That is all. Thank you.